Let's switch over to Liga F, where the champs, Barcelona, never lost. 23 matches, all competitions, 22 wins, 1 draw, which really puts that Benfica draw into perspective when you really kind of look at it.
It really
Pretty
does.
wild. They take on Sevilla, one of 6 teams in Liga F, with a positive goal differential, and they're 6th in the table. So it's really the haves and the have-nots. They're at the very bottom of the have section, I would say. This one was pretty competitive. So Sevilla didn't quite scare Barcelona, but I think they had some runs just kind of up the middle of the field that gave Barcelona some problems. Sevilla just didn't have the finishing to be able to make Barcelona pay. But I took a little mental note of that, especially as I kind of continue to bat my eyes at PSG and just be astounded by their athletic prowess. That might be something I'm going to keep an eye on with regards to the Barcelona defense. Offensively, though, they get a super well-worked goal from Claudia Pina after 100 or 150 completed passes in a row. Pretty incredible. The commentator dropped this nugget that I thought was interesting. 11 matches in a row where Barca scores in the first half. I was actually a little bit surprised that it's not more than 11.
Yeah.
Vicky Lopez, she's going to be a real one. Let's just leave it at that. 17 years old. She's still got another, I think, 5-ish months till she turns 18. And she was out there directing traffic, threatening, super sharp passes. I mean, I'm super excited. You know that she's a prodigy if she's just getting regular run at Barcelona.
Yeah.
But it's been one thing, a little bit of a recurring theme with the growth of the women's game is to A, see really young players competing at the highest level, and then B, see them actually dominating spots of the game where you're just like, oh wow, like the team can't do anything with with this girl. It's pretty crazy. She had a really impressive performance. Barcelona gets another couple goals, both assisted by Atana Bonmatí. CGH gets one, Mariona Caldente gets the other. And then, I kind of skipped over it, but that first Claudia Pina goal, I mean, that was a laser. Absolute fucking laser. She's such a luxury to just have kind of just loitering like on the outside of the 18. It's just like, oh, ball came my way. I'm just going to rip this one.
I mean, we talk about it. So, you mentioned Vicky Lopez. She's 17. She's appeared in 10 matches. She has 3 goals for the greatest club in the world right now. Claudia Pina, we mentioned her. You mentioned her. She hits a rocket. I feel like sometimes we forget to mention Esme Brutes. There are just so many great players all over the field at all times. I think the quip you were given last week about how many goals members of the team had, how many assists everybody had, and then you had to point out to us only 11 players can be on the pitch at one time, and they consistently have 13 players, 14 players, 15 players making statistical additions to the squad. It's just coming at you from all angles if you're any opponent of them. It's a miracle, and I'm really glad you said it. It puts it that Benfica draw into perspective. It feels like a miracle when they're not winning 50 minutes in.
I mean, 100%. I will caveat that with one thing that I did notice. It did kind of feel a little bit, it's funny because we do compare this Barcelona team to an all-star team, but the NBA all-star game, kind of when people are just firing from every direction, every spot on the floor.
Right.
I'm not saying that they're not getting well-worked goals because the first Claudia Pina goal was beautiful football.
Right.
But it does feel like there's a lot of shots from different directions, and sometimes that could be an advantage. But sometimes, the Chelsea style is the more optimal in a specific matchup. Let's just keep attacking down the middle. Let's get it to our closer, essentially.
Yep.
And let's let them get in rhythm. Let's let them get chances. And I guess that's my one very, very, very minor quibble is it is tough. Esme Brooks, perfect example. She doesn't get the most playing time. She does get pretty consistent appearances, but maybe it's tough to get in rhythm even when you play 25 minutes or 30 minutes, you might not get a look at goal, right? Even though you have that skill set, and it's just the way the team breaks when you're that talented, very NBA All-Star game type vibes, like I mentioned.
Yeah, I think it's a great point. It's a wonderful problem to have, but you do wonder, if it rears its head at the wrong time, I feel like everybody just kind of has to look at each other and go, well, damn, we didn't expect that. And it's kind of hard to, it could be difficult to get past, but the results on the pitch have pretty much spoken for themselves at this point. So
absolutely,
I would expect more dominating victories to follow until we get to the Women's Champions League again and have to play the juggernauts from Bergen.
Yep. Enjoy it now, Barca. Yeah, I think, no, I mean, they're obviously incredible. And we're sort of picking the tiniest nits after a 3-0 win over Sevilla. So it's all good.
Yeah.
Some upcoming matches in Liga F. Barca, top of the table. They play Atletico Madrid Sunday, February 18th. Also on Sunday, February 18th, Real Madrid will take on Tenerife. Real Madrid in second in the table. Tenerife sits in ninth. And we had some more Liga F news, some big news. I'm not quite going into the news yet, but little tiny baby nugget. Racheal Kundananji, new record holder for largest transfer fee. How about $787,000 US to facilitate her move from Madrid CFF to BFC? Your thoughts?
Creeping up toward that $1 million transfer fee money.
Let's get it.
I think we're going to get there. I think you might have said a couple episodes. We'll probably get there by the end of 2024. So you'll love to see that. Yeah, BFC. Turns out if you're going to have Kundananji and Oshuala, I think they're going to score a lot of goals. I think that's my analysis. I think BFC is going to walk in as an expansion team and score a shitload of goals.
I wouldn't bet against it. That's a scary two-headed attack for sure. Just excited for the Copper Queens.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get Zambia a little bit more shine. One of our favorite teams from the World Cup. I'm still looking at my Orlando Pride to pick up the phone, put out the call to one Babarabanda.
Damn right.
She's trapped in China. Let's get her out of here. And yeah, let's get more Copper Queens vibes into the NWSL. I mean, that's never a bad thing.
Played an attractive brand of football. You know, we're going to run. We're going to attack. I'm into it, man. I mean, and on the more serious side, like I think people immediately started talking about it today, and we're recording this as of Tuesday. The signing was announced today. This is what it's going to take.
Yep.
If you're going to be competitive, you got to start paying for it. And I alluded to, or I mentioned the NWSL media rights deal. That's what the money's for. So
100%.
CBS and ION and the networks that are going to be broadcasting the matches. People want to watch stars, and they want to watch stars who played in the World Cup. They want to watch stars who played in the Olympics. And I think as things kind of proliferate and as the game becomes more visible, they're going to want to see stars who played in the Champions League. So if you're our home league here, or one of our home leagues, as we'll discuss later in the podcast, you gotta pay to get those great players. So it's very encouraging to see.
Yeah, 100%. And obviously, Oshuala is still at the very top of her game, but this one feels a little different. Kundananji, 23 years old, 25 goals Liga F last year, second in the league behind Alba Redondo, top 6 this year in Liga F again. She's not even yet in her prime. We saw what she could do in the World Cup. We saw what she does in Liga F pretty consistently. And just pairing her up with almost, I don't want to be disrespectful because Oshuala is just awesome, but like a little bit of a mentor vibe. Somebody that could kind of bring her along, bring her into her prime, through her prime. I think both of them are going to really blossom on that squad, just kind of playing off of each other. They'll get a chance to kind of build the culture out there. Like that's kind of how you make an investment in more than a player. We're starting to see that those signings were more than just kind of like the skill set of each of those players.
I think it's the only thing that's a little bit of a shame is that they have to go to a city like San Francisco that hasn't won a Super Bowl since the year 2000, when a beautiful city like Seattle is right there. We're right there, man. Like I wish, maybe the sale of the club is holding up some of these signings, but I obviously wish them both great luck. I'm also hoping for some great luck for Seattle Reign to maybe sign some players, but I digress.
Still time.
I mean,
just gotta stay patient.